it's kind of hard for me to believe, Roy, that it's been a whole week since this hurricane Ike hammered into the Texas coast. And I was sharing with some people down in Aniwak one day this last week that over 1.2 million people were impacted by that storm in an area about the size of West Virginia. And it's, you know, it's way too soon from my perspective to put a price tag on what this storm is going to cost the people of the state of Texas. And the fact of the matter is there's things that are lost that you can't put a price tag on. There's parts of people's lives that are going to be lost forever, and for that, certainly our hearts grieve. But we hope that many of the costs that you can replace, that our counterparts at the federal government do in fact cover those. But experience tells us that Texans that suffered untold millions of dollars worth of damages personally are not going to be eligible for some of those federal reimbursements. The good news is we live in a state that cares. We live in a state with a huge population of really wonderful, generous men and women, and we're kind of known for that generosity. Back in 2005, when Hurricane Rita hammered the southeast Texas coast, we received more than $3 million in private sector contributions to help Texas communities rebuild. And today we're renewing that effort to help Texas communities rebound from Ike's aftermath. So, the Texas Disaster Relief Fund doesn't duplicate what the folks at FEMA do. Instead, it gives Texans a chance to give directly to Texas communities whose resources have been strained by this storm. Our first challenge is to get the word out, and to get the word out on a timely basis. Let people know how they can help. And here to spread that word are some very proud Texans who are applying their God-given talents, their hard-earned resources to help with that effort. I'm joined here today by a legend, a person who I have the utmost respect for as a human being, who figuratively has a heart as big as Texas, and is one of the great talents in this country, and that is Roy Spence. And Roy, I want to ask you to show off a little bit, if you will, what those great and talented men and women over at Idea City have come up with, and I'd like for Roy to share with you a beautiful piece of art. Roy Spence.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Well, first of all, thank you, Governor, for the leadership that you and your staff have given in this time of trouble. I also want to thank the mayors of those great cities, Bill White, and the public servants down there in the Gulf Coast. But the real heroes, as we know, are the first responders who put their boots on the ground and in the water. And the real heroes are our citizens of the state who got knocked down, but they're not going to be knocked out, ever.
Never, never.
And with their grit and determination, they will rebuild their lives. And they're not asking for a favor. We're just going to help repay one a little bit. And so we did this public service announcement. I called the governor and said, how can we help? And he said, do what you do. And I want to thank so much of the people at GSD&M and Tequila Mockingbird, the people who did the recording. This spot was inspired by our state song, our state anthem, Texas, Our Texas. We don't sing it at the University of Texas, but I understand you do at Texas A&M, so you know that. You know the words, but at the end of the song it talks about withstanding every test, and that we're so supremely blessed. So I thought of the song and I thought, well, let's do a little spot and see if we can get the great hearts and minds of Texas to step in once again and help the people of Texas who need it. So I'm going to play the spot for the relief fund, and hope it will get folks to donate because we need a little help down there. Thank you.
Texas, our Texas, all hail the mighty state. Texas, our Texas, so wonderful, so great, boldest and grandest.
In Texas, we take care of our own. Please donate now to the Texas Disaster Relief Fund to help our fellow Texans rebuild their lives.
Roy, thank you. That is a powerful piece of work, to say the least. And I want to, again, say thanks to the folks at GSD&M. Please go back and share with them. I know that they'll hear that from a lot of people over the course of the next few weeks, as will the folks at Tequila Mockingbird. So again, to both of those groups for their work on this piece. And if it's true that a picture's worth 1,000 words, then that is quite a novel. But the fact is, it's the words to that song that makes the synergy of both the reflection of what has happened to wonderful people of Southeast Texas and the words of that song that says that we are supremely blessed, that indeed we will stand every test. And we're going to spread that image and those messages all across this state with the help of our friends, those of you that are here in the media, and also the Texas Association of Broadcasters. I don't know if Ann and Danny Baker are here, but they're going to be doing PSAs as well. And Dell Lane's here representing the Texas Cable and Telecommunications Association. And Dell has already secured agreements from Comcast, from Time Warner, from Suddenlink, from Charter, from Cable One, to broadcast these public service announcements on their networks. And I want to join with saying thank you to their great generosity. And Dell, if you would, I'd ask you just to say a few words about your members that are stepping into the breach here and helping their fellow Texans.
Thank you, Governor. I really appreciate and am honored to be here today, and especially as someone who was BOI and grew up in Texas City, this has a personal impact to my immediate family and extended family, all of whom are still in Galveston and Texas City and have been impacted by this storm. So I'm honored to be here on a personal basis. In a professional basis, Governor, I want to first thank you for your very strong leadership during this last week. I think it was very, very telling how passionate you were about trying to get in there and help immediately get us back on the right foot. You're right. They are resilient folks down there in the Galveston area and all the way over to the Beaumont area that were affected by this storm. The Texas Cable Association, as Governor Perry has indicated, is pleased to offer public service announcements that will have a value in the several hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this beautiful message out to people all across our state. The members of the association represent almost 4 million households and over 10 million Texans who will get to see this message. And Roy, I think they're going to be very receptive to what you and your team have done. So, Governor, we're honored to be part of this message delivery to our fellow Texans, and thank you again.